everyone, my name is Vandana Nagar and I am going to take you on an interesting journey filled with stories, drama, poetries, politics, fiction, science, and so on. Are you ready? Let's go on. So the first one that I'm going to begin with is a poem. A poem by Sir Rabindranath Tagore. Yes, but yeah, Sir, the title of Sir was given away. So could I just call him Poet Rabindranath Tagore, the Nobel laureate? Yes, you guessed it right, the Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore. Okay? This poetry is called Where the Mind is Without Fear. It is composed by Rabindranath Tagore. What do you know about Rabindranath Tagore? Before I begin to discuss the poetry with you, I would like you to tell me, what do you know about Tagore? Is it only that he composed our national anthem, or something else? You must have learned about him in history, right? So what all do you know? Yeah, what did you say? Jallianwala Bagh massacre? Oh yeah, yeah. Come on, go on. Something else related to that. Yes, exactly. You're right. He gave up the title of Sir after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, actually in protest against the deadly massacre that took place during that time. Okay? And this poetry, this poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear, is very much taken from his collection of poems called Gitanjali. Gitanjali is his book. It is a collection of poems, and Where the Mind is Without Fear is one such poem from that beautiful collection. And let me tell you, when I say that he had given up the title of Sir during the British era, this poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear, is basically a kind of a prayer. It's more like a prayer. Okay, prayer to the Lord Almighty, because that was the time when when the whole of India was under the British rule, and you know how exploitative the British were. Okay, they used to commit horrible atrocities against the Indians. They used to exploit India by each and every means, be it wealth, be it political, be it social, be it economy. Everywhere they had started plundering and exploiting India like anything. And that was the time wherein people even feared to think about freedom. This was the time when Rabindranath Tagore composed this poem, because he too was one of them. He too was one of those many Indians who was suffering and who was seeing, basically not suffering, but he was basically witnessing the entire trouble, the terrible state of the Indian people, and how the Indians longed for freedom. Okay, so this is out of his heart of hearts. This poem is basically a prayer to the Almighty, wherein he wishes that India should be free, wherein he wishes that Lord Almighty is the only one who could help India be free. Right? So without much ado, let us go ahead with the poem. So the first line says, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. Father, let my country awake. Okay, such a beautiful thought. Okay, it is actually, this poem is called a thought-provoking poem. A thought-provoking poem. Okay, and through whatever has been done, whatever you heard from this poem, okay, don't you think it is also, this poem evokes a very strong patriotic feeling, right? So I can also say that it is a poem with strong patriotic feeling. Okay, and what is it basically? This poem is nothing but this poem is a kind of a prayer. It is a kind of prayer. Right? You need to remember these 3 pointers. It is a thought-provoking poem. It evokes patriotic feeling, and it is a kind of prayer to the Lord Almighty. And in this prayer to the Lord Almighty, when Rabindranath Tagore, now as I say, prayer to the Lord Almighty. When do we pray, children? When do we pray? It is, obviously, we pray every day, we pray all the time, but then we pray more earnestly and with full faith without even getting distracted, okay, especially when we are in need, when we are in deep trouble, okay. At that time, the way we pray, so earnestly we pray, that is absolutely different. So this is one such kind of a prayer wherein Rabindranath Tagore is also in deep trouble. Why is he in deep trouble? Is anybody pestering him? Is anybody torturing him right now? No one is torturing him directly, but then he is deeply pained to see his countrymen, the Indians, being troubled and exploited terribly by the cruel Britishers. Okay, and therefore he says that where the mind is without fear, oh Lord, I feel that where the mind is without fear, a place, India should be a place. He dreams of an India wherein the mind is without fear, wherein I don't have to fear, wherein my countrymen do not have to fear of anybody, right? There is no fright of anybody, there is no fear, right? There should be no Britisher, there should be nobody over us. There should be nobody to rule over us. When I do something, I should not be scared of somebody. Why am I doing this? Okay, so he says, where the mind is without fear and head is held high. Okay, when would you hold your head high and walk? Yes, come on, think. When would you hold your head high? Obviously, when you have done something great, when you have achieved something, all right, or especially when you are free, correct? Even though you have not achieved any awards, okay, or recognitions, but just the thought of being independent, just the thought of being free can make you stand straight, and it can actually help you to hold your head high and walk, because you are not being dominated by anybody. You are free. You are a free being. Okay, and therefore the first line means that Rabindranath Tagore states that I want to be in a country, I dream to be of India wherein the mind is without fear. The people are not scared of anybody. Okay, there should be no domination. Okay, and where the people are not scared of anything and anyone, and at the same time their head is held high. Their head is held high because they are free. Okay, their head should be held high. Where knowledge is free, the most important thing, children, over here, where knowledge is free. Do you think education is important? Yes, obviously. Education is the most important thing in this world, and education is the only tool, okay, that can help you come out of many problems. Okay, so where knowledge is free, what kind of India does he want? And see over here, Rabindranath Tagore, he does not only pray aimlessly. He does not just say, okay, fine, God, you come here and solve all our problems. No, he is also giving us a solution. Okay, that education is the only thing that can change India and that can bring about a drastic change in India, that can help the Indians come out of this exploitative rule and to fight against this exploitative rule in a better manner. Okay, so he says, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, means education is given to all. So, do you think over here when he says knowledge is free education, does it only indicate free of the material goods or free from any sort of fees. Come on, keep thinking. Free, okay, free knowledge. Okay, now when I say free knowledge, okay, when knowledge is free, okay, it does not imply monetarily free. Okay, it does not imply that the children will not have to pay fees and so on. Okay, but in a country, in the then India, as if you remember, there were all the Indians were not allowed to get educated. Okay, education was a luxury only to a few. Okay, like as in those days, the Indians believed, the especially the backward class, and especially the Indians believed that only the Brahmins are allowed. Brahmins are the ones who have the right to get educated. Okay, and the education was imparted only to a few. Okay, and therefore this again, it is a kind of a bondage. Okay, this again is a kind of bondage that led India into slavery. Okay, India was under slavery, but again, India was under slavery because of what? There were too many things. Britishers were definitely there, but at the same time, don't you think we Indians also were equally responsible? Just because we were not educated then, education was limited only to a specific group of people. Okay, and therefore, most of the people remain illiterate. Okay, and therefore, what happened as a result? As a result, people did not think and reason. They did not have that logic, okay, to think beyond what is there, think beyond what can be seen. Okay, so education was limited to maybe only the high class people and the higher caste people. And what about the lower caste people? What about the farmers? What about the other? What about the poor people who cannot afford education? Okay. So here, when Rabindranath Tagore says where knowledge is free, free over here indicates every caste, children from all the caste and all the classes should be allowed to get education. This indicates the right to education for one and all. Be that child Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, that is apart from irrespective of the religion that a child belongs to, irrespective of the caste that the child belongs to, irrespective of the class that the child belongs to, the child should have free education. Okay. Then, where the world has not been broken up into fragments, okay, where the world has not been broken up into fragments, does Rabindranath Tagore over here mean to say the physical breaking of the world, or somebody has gone over there and hammered the entire world? No, definitely not. Okay, it's not the hammering of the world. It is basically that it implies the way India had been divided, okay, into various castes, subcastes, classes, etc. Now, if we take only one thing, say, okay, Hinduism. Okay, now in Hinduism also we have too many caste and subcaste, too many languages speaking, too many languages are spoken, too many subcastes are there. All right, then if you take only if you take one particular community, now in that particular community also you will have 110 divisions. So what is this? These divisions are the fragments, right? Rabindranath Tagore means to say that India is divided into small fragments because of what? Because of these religious differences on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste, on the basis of class. We have divided India. India is just shattered into pieces. It should not be like that. India should be one, okay? One like this sponge. Okay, fine. So it says where the world has not been divided into, broken up into fragments. Okay, so by narrow domestic walls. What do these domestic walls indicate by narrow domestic walls? Come on, tell me. Narrow domestic walls. Narrow domestic walls. Is it a kind of a free wall? I mean, is it a kind of a physical wall that the poet is addressing us? No, it is not it is not a physical wall that is being addressed over here. Okay, it is the narrow-mindedness of us Indians. Okay, narrow-mindedness of us Indians is like there were too many things, like the untouchables were not allowed to take the water from the same well as the other normal people could. Okay, or looking at the face of an untouchable, seeing the face of an untouchable early in the morning would cause your entire day to go bad, or maybe something something evil would happen to you if you look at them. Okay, there are too many other things, like because of this caste and class differences, like the girls were not allowed to get educated, there was this parda system, there was child marriages, there was dowry system, correct? And then the widows in some parts of India during that time, the widows had to live, even if it was a small child, the child had to live in something called as a vidva ashram, all right? And then the child also will have to suffer the same manner as in the adults are suffering. Okay, those widows are not allowed to have fun, they are not allowed to smile, they are not allowed to eat good food, etc, 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 right? So these are the various things, but because of which the Indian communities have been divided. This is the narrow-mindedness of us Indians. Okay, therefore Rabindranath Tagore says that we need to get out of this narrow-mindedness. Because of this narrow domestic walls, Indian community has been divided into various fragments, correct? And these fragments, when they become one, then we can be strong enough to fight against the Britishers and throw the British out of this India. Okay, so then he says, where the world has not been broken up into fragments, where by narrow domestic walls means narrow-mindedness, okay, small thinking. Where words come out from the depth of truth, he says, where words, when we speak to others, the word should come out from the depth, of the depth of truth, right? It should come from the bottom of your heart. It should not be only your tongue speaking, but your heart should speak that, right? So when you speak the truth, okay, it should come out from your heart. Okay, and whatever you speak, when something comes out of your heart, this indicates that you are speaking out of true faith. Okay, and when you have true faith, definitely at that time you would be able to win over the other person. Okay, and therefore you can gain power of unity. In this way, you all can come together, be united, okay, stand together and fight against the oppressive policies. Okay, so where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where tireless striving, what does this tireless striving indicate? Come on, tell me. Tireless striving. Come on, think. Have you thought of it? Tireless striving. Tireless striving means what? Continuous hard work. Okay. So he also states that one, we require education. Second thing, he also requires that India should get rid of this narrow-mindedness. Okay. And at the same time, people should be ready to work hard. People should be ready to work hard, arms in arm, hand in hand. Okay. That means cooperating with one another. They must speak good words to one another. Okay, they must speak from the bottom of their hearts. It should not be just, it should not be a cold heart, it should not be a cold heart conversation. Okay, so where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way, where the clear stream of reason indicates logic. Okay, where the clear stream of reason, this indicates logic. He means to say that the Indians need to have some reason. Indians need to believe. Now, there are too many things that we keep believing, right? Like say, there are certain times, like in the evening, you must not cut nails. Like some people also say, yeah, in the evening you must not cut nails because it. Some people say it goes in the sun god's mouth. Some people do not some people just refrain from washing their hair on certain days. Okay, you must not wash your hair on this day, or you must not wash your hair on that day. Okay, why is all these things? And the best example is of the Nimbu Mirchi. Why do you think the people tied Nimbu Mirchi? Just because somebody in the olden days tied Nimbu Mirchi, today, till date, the people are continuing with that Nimbu Mirchi. Is it associated with some sort of nazar wazar and stuff like that? No. Try to find out, okay? Try to ask the person who is really knowledgeable enough to give you the correct answer. Okay, let me tell you. what happened was, now you see this lemon and chili, okay, it is highly nutritious, okay, it gives you vitamin C, okay, it gives you vitamin C, it is very good for digestion, etc., etc. You can find out for yourself the benefits of lemon and chili. And just because it was too nutritious, it was advisable to include these two things in your diet. And therefore, in order to propagate that idea, people started using it as symbols, okay. And now what do? We actually use it to keep away some buri nazar. Okay, there is nothing buri nazar. There is nothing called as buri nazar. Okay, and then there are other things like you cannot wash hair on so and so days. Why? There is nothing associated with it. Okay, but it was only a way by which the ancient people or the traditional Indians, it was just a water conservation technique, that if one day people make and take an oath that okay fine, people decide that this one day we are not going to wash our hair, means we are not going to take head bath. Okay, this means you are going to save that much amount of water. That's it. It was a simple water saving technique. But what are we doing? We are actually taking it in the wrong manner. Okay, so whatever it was said in the ancient times, okay, that was based on science, that was based on reason. But do we reason anything? And those days people said do not cut nails after the sunset. There is nothing associated with the religion or anything that okay, the sun god will have nails in his mouth and stuff like that. No, it is nothing like that. It is only that in those days there were no tube lights, there was no electricity, okay, and after the sunset they did not even have nail cutters. They used to have these sharp blades, okay, with which they used to cut their nails. And after sunset, since it is dark, you could end up hurting yourself, and therefore it was advised not to cut your nails after sunset. So Tagore says that India should awake into, he dreams of such an India wherein the people have not lost their logic. Okay, people know how to reason. Whatever they are doing, whatever their beliefs are, people should know very well, why am I doing this? They must know all the reasons and all the logic for doing what they are doing. Alright, and therefore he says, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. Okay, what is this dead habit? Come on, again. Dead habit is the old thoughts, old customs and traditions which actually have no meaning at all. Okay, so why are we pushing ourselves into that dungeon? Okay, why are we still going on behind that dead habit? If Indians come out of that dead habit, then only, and when they come out of, and when they know how to reason their own beliefs, when they know how to apply logic to their own beliefs, only then they will be able to progress. And I pray to the Lord Almighty. It's not me who's praying, it's Rabindranath Tagore through this poem who's praying. Okay, so he says, and I pray to the Lord Almighty that India should wake up and the Indians should become like this. Indians should get out of this dead habit. Indians should get out of this narrow-mindedness. India should have free knowledge where everybody, including the lower caste people, are able to get educated, are able to get education. At the same time, the people are ready to work hard. Ready to work hard how? Everybody is ready to work hard. Work arm in arm, support each other, cooperate each other collectively and bring about the progress of the country. This is what is required and this is what Rabindranath Tagore prays for through this poem. Okay, so into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee, and then he says, where the mind is led forward by thee, where the mind is governed, where the mind of Indians is governed, it is led by you, Almighty, who is the supreme giver of freedom. Okay, into ever-widening thought and action. And therefore he says that please guide the minds of the Indians into the ever-widening thought and action. Let my people think freely. Let my people do something logically. Okay, let them accept the entire world. Let them accept the new ideas, okay, innovations, technology, and therefore progress. Go on the lines of development. okay, and bring about the development of the country as well. So into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. So into that heaven of freedom, what is this heaven of freedom like? According to Rabindranath Tagore, let me tell you, this heaven of freedom is where the people are free. The people are not scared of anything. Secondly, the people's head is held high because they are free. Third thing, they are able to receive knowledge. Next, they are out of their narrow-mindedness. Next, they are ready to work hard, hand in hand, cooperating with each other. They are speaking the words of truth, and that too, the words come out from the bottom of their hearts. And at the same time, these Indians and at the same time, the people are not following the old customs and traditions. Does not indicate the religious customs and traditions, but yeah, they should have some logic and they should have some reason to their beliefs. So in this kind of heaven of freedom, oh Lord, oh my Father, let my country awake. Okay, so in short, have you understood this? What all does Rabindranath Tagore wish for? Rabindranath Tagore wishes for, once again, come on, everybody pay attention. Rabindranath Tagore wishes for so many things are as follows. What is the first thing? The first thing that he wishes for is that there should be no fear. Second, the people should be free. Third, there should be free education, irrespective of the caste, gender bias, etc. Then the people should be ready to work hard, cooperate with each other, work hand in hand, speak from the bottom of their hearts. Okay, they should come out of their narrow-mindedness. Okay, they should not believe in superstitions. Okay, and they must not venture into the dead habit. Okay, and in this manner, they must work together and they must progress together. I hope you understood it well. Thank you so much.